Salve omnes. Today we are going to be looking at the very final paragraph of the story and finally finishing up this story. So, just to remind you what's been going on the last couple of sentences, Jason was able to plow the field with the help of Medea's magic, and he plowed the field and he scattered the seeds. The seeds then popped up into fully armed men, and everyone who was watching this was terrified, thinking that there's no way that he was going to be able to overcome such a powerful enemy. So how's he going to get out of this? Iasonis saxum in hostes jacet, ut asse bellum in ipsos converteret. All right, so we look at this, and we've got a verb here. Okay, let's just break it up right there. We have a main clause and we have some sort of subordinate clause. Let's just take a look. Iason obviously is our subject, but Jason, what did he do? He jacketed saxum in hostes. We got a little prepositional phrase, and then if we just look at these few words right here, this is a pretty straightforward bit of sentence. Then we have this word ut, which is always a problem for us, especially now because it can do so much. So it could be an as, but we're not comparing anything. Could be a purpose clause, could be a result clause. But if we look, we don't see the word so anywhere. So it's got to be a purpose clause. So why did he throw the saxum into the hostes? Or in here probably is better translated as at. For the purpose of say here we don't use very much. It means himself or herself. So it's ablative here. So say from himself, away from himself perhaps. Bellum. We got another prepositional phrase, in ipsos. Ipsos is another word we don't use very often, sadly. It means themselves, they themselves. And then we have the verb converteret, which is a good subjunctive for us. So Jason threw a rock for the purpose of what? To turn the bellum from himself onto ipsos. So let's take a look. Iasonatam saxum in hostos jacet. For what purpose? Ut asse bellum in ipsos converteret. Omnes per multo vulnera ceciderant. Pretty straightforward. It's only one verb. Omnes is our subject. Multo vulnera are accusative objects, and ceciderant is our verb. Per here is better translated as like maybe because of. So everyone, they cecideranted due to multo vulnera, or from multo vulnera, or because of multo vulnera. Here we go. There they are. Omnes per multo vulnera ceciderant. Graeci gausi sunt, et Medea quoque, agens gratias carminibus, et dis autoribus horum. We only have one verb here. That's going to be tough. But we do have this, we do have a participle over here, and we know participles kind of act as actions. So we'll take this whole bit right there with this action agens and kind of block it off. So we have Graeci et Medea gausi sunt. These are both subjects of my verb gausi sunt. So Graeci et Medea are doing this. So then we have the participle agens, and we recognize the ns as being a singular, and so there's only one person that can do it. Only Medea is agens gratias. The Greeks are not doing this. The Greeks and Medea are doing the gausi sunting, but only Medea is agens, and she's agens gratias. And then we have these little phrases in here. And last week, actually, for like the last 3 years, I've told you anytime something looks like an ablative or a dative, you should always go with ablative, unless there's good reason not to. Well, there's a good reason not to, right? So agens gratias, you give thanks. You have to give thanks to someone, and so this is a good reason not to, because it's a verb of giving. So she gave thanks to what? Carminibus. Now, when we first learned Carmen, we learned it as like songs, but it can also mean chants, as in magical chants, and this is what it means here. So she agens gratias to the Carminibus that kept him safe. And who made these Carminibus? Dis auctoribus horum. And that's a gloss for you down there. Graeci gausi sunt et Medea quoque. Agens gratias carminibus et dis auctoribus horum. Super est herbis, somnum draconi pervigile dare, qui horrendus costos veleris aurei erat. Superest is a verb. It comes right at the beginning, which is a little strange, except for if you read the note down there. It means something very special. When we first learned it, it meant something like to survive or to overpower, but this means something slightly different here. We also have the verb dare. Oh, a verb of giving. Probably have a dative coming. And then we have a relative clause. So I'm going to split that off. So it remains herbis. This is not the dative of giving. We have another one. Herbis here is an ablative, and it can mean with grass or in the grass, or it might be with herbs, like magical herbs. Somnum, sleep, doing something to sleep. And then we have draconi pervigile. This is our dative here. And I know it's dative because I know Draco is third declension, and long eyes only can be dative here. So I'm going to give something to the ever-watchful dragon. Oh, I might give sleep to the ever-watchful dragon. How am I going to give sleep to the ever-watchful dragon? With herbies. We're not done yet. We got to address the relative clause. Well, qui, what could qui be talking about? There's only one thing it can be talking about, because that's how relative clauses work. So tell me more about this dragon. Who horrendus custos. Okay, now, careful with this. Custos, it looks like accusative plural, unless you know that this comes from a third declension. This is why knowing your vocabulary is so important, because you can look at custos and immediately know what it is without having to look it up and think through it the entire time. If you know this word, if you know your vocabulary, then you can go on without too much problem. So tell me more about this dragon. Oh, he's a horrendous guard. What was he a horrendous guard of? The Valeris Array. Well, we already know that he's a guard of the Golden Fleece. So here we go. Super est herbis somnum draconi perugile dare. That's one thing we've got left to do. Tell me more about this dragon. Qui horrendus costos valeris aurei erat. Iason eum aquis lethais sparsit, et ter dixit verbus somnus placidos facientia, ut somnus in oculos draconis veniret. Got to break this down. This is a long sentence. So I'm going to go to my verb. There we go. I got sparsit. There's a verb. I got dixit's a verb as well, but that can't be the end of my clause. That doesn't make any sense. Normally, Latin likes to put verbs at the end, but here it doesn't seem to be doing that. So, because he said what? I mean, it doesn't say what he said if we stop at the verb. So I'm going to break it down. Rather, I'm going to go to the ut, because that seems like a natural place to do the next bit of the clause. So we just start at the beginning. Iason eum. Eum here is referring back to the dragon. Aquis lethais. So here's an ablative. So he did something to him with the water. He sparsited him. Oops. Et ter dixit. And then this phrase here, verba somnus placidos facientia, is given to you because it's a little bit tough. It has something called nesting in it, which we talked about when we first did ablatives. Well, this year we first did ablatives. This one's a little bit harder because everything's in accusative, so I just gave you the whole thing. So he sparsited the dragon with aquis lethais, and then he dixited 3 times verba somnus placidos facientia. And we got that another ut. What is this thing? Well, we're not comparing. We don't have a so word, so there's only one thing it can be. So why did he do these things? In order, so that somnus here is a nominative, so that sleep in oculos draconis veniret. Veniret, we got a subjunctive here. And in this clause, we might have to treat it more like a subjunctive, so that sleep might come or may come or should come. That's more subjunctive-y into the oculos draconis. Iason eum aquis lethais sparsit, et ter dixit verbus somnus placidos facientia, ut somnus in oculos draconis veniret. Heros Iaasonides velere aureo potiebator. All right, this one's tough because there are 2 words that you can get confused. First, velere here, don't confuse this with an infinitive, all it looks like those. It comes from velis veleris, which we've already used a bunch of times, the fleece. And potiebator, don't get confused with this. It doesn't come from possum. They come from the same root, but this one means something different. And actually, it's given to you down at the bottom. So Haros Harisonides is our subject, the hero son of Aeson. He potiabatord the wele areo, which is good because his whole task was to do that. And there he is. Haros Harisonides welere areo potiabator. Last sentence. Superbus spolio et portans quoque secum, actorum spolii, ipsam alterum spolium, victor ad Graecium cum exore noa redit, effugians iram patris. It's a long one. But this is a tough one because we only have one verb. There's only one verb in this whole sentence. But wait a second, we do have two participles, which have an action quality to them. So the very first word we come to is superbus, which isn't a noun, it's an adjective. So it means arrogant. I mean, the last person that we were talking about was Jason, so maybe we can say the arrogant one. Spolio here is ablative, so he's in, by, within, on, or from the prize. He's arrogant by the prize, arrogant with the prize, arrogant in the prize, arrogant from the prize. Let's keep going. At portans, so portans is nominative, and we only have one nominative here. So the arrogant person, we also know that he is portans quoque secum, just means with him. Auctorum, I don't know if this is one of your vocab words. We had it just a minute ago. It meant the person responsible, as in the author, the doer, the creator. So he's portans with him, the creator of the spolii, of the prize. The creator here is referring back to Medea. She's the one who helped him get this prize. And so we have this little phrase here, ipsam, which we notice is an accusative, but it's accusative feminine. So it's referring back to her. She herself, alterum spolium. Oh, my goodness. So he's carrying the golden fleece, and he's also taking with him the author of the golden fleece, or the prize, she herself, alterum spolium. Victor. Oh, hey, wait a second. Victor, meaning victor, obviously. Hey, that's a nominative. So we actually do have a noun in here. So we can slap that over there. So now we know that the victor is the arrogant one, and the victor is the one carrying. Okay. Arrogant in his prize. So far, not anything up to the word victor has been a main clause. It's just been some things that are describing him. So if we keep on going, let's find out what the victor actually does. Ad Graecium cum exore noa redit. There we go. That's our main clause. The victor, he reddited to Graecium with his exore noa. Then we have the word effugians. And effugians is nominative, so it's got to be talking about the victor. So he is escaping. And if you just kept reading on, Iram Patris, so what is he escaping? The Iram of the Patris. It actually seems like effugians would be better served describing uxore as an ablative, but it's not. So it's not that she's escaping the ire of her father. It's that he is escaping the ire of the father. So be careful. It's just, you got to watch where these things agree to, so that in English you can use the right terms and right pronouns, which are obviously not needed in Latin here. So here we go. Superbus spolio. I saw this picture and I thought he looked pretty superbus. And then the rest of this really can be summed up right there. Portans quoque secum, actorum spolii. Here she is, the alterum spolium, she herself. Victor, ad Graecum, cum exore noa redit. Effugians iram patris. You may remember she took her younger brother. This is her younger brother with them. Things don't end up very well for that young kid when her father catches up with the boat. Her father was catching up with them, and in order to escape, she murdered her brother and threw him in the water so that her dad would have to go get him instead of them. And that's the end. Bye.